so proud to introduce my father, the senior senator from the state of Massachusetts, Edward M. Kennedy.
John and Robert Kennedy summoned new generations to public service. How proud they would be, especially of so many of you gathered here who answered their call. How proud they would be of a president who was touched in his youth by their example and who has brought our party back to victory and moved our country forward, President Bill Clinton. In 1996, we are proud of who we are, proud of where we stand, and proud of who leads us. No one in this convention hall has to point to the exit signs to tell the prejudiced, the extremists, and the intolerant that they are not welcome here. We do not offer the illusion of inclusion while forcing a vice presidential nominee to betray his own conscience and endorse a law that would deny equal opportunity to women and minorities. Today in everything but name, the Democratic Party is the party of Abraham Lincoln. And where, in truth, do our opponents stand? We heard the orators at their convention all trying to sound like moderates. But this time we say to the American people, before you read their lips, you better read their platform. It is the radical wish list of the education cutting, environmental trashing, Medicare slashing, choice denying, tolerance repudiating, gay bashing, Social Security threatening, assault rifle coddling, government closing, tax loophole granting. There's more to come. Minimum wage opposing. Republican majority that dominated the delegations in San Diego. The image makers tried to pretend it was otherwise. They tried with all the tricks at their disposal to create a false platform that would hide the real one. But a false platform built on thin air cannot hold up a lumbering elephant laden down with the heavy weight of the Dole-Gingrich record. That almost went up in smoke cannot be reclaimed by a convention of smoke and mirrors. I have served with Bob Dole in the Senate. I like and respect him as a person, but I take issue with his backward vision of America. They say there's a new Bob Dole, but let's not lose sight of the old Bob Dole. He wasn't exactly a merry old soul. Compliant partner in the so-called Gingrich Revolution. Newt Gingrich thought it up, but Bob Dole swallowed it hook, line, and sinker. When our opponents put their ticket together, they left out the last name. Their real ticket is the famous Republican trio of reaction, Dole, Kemp, and Gingrich. Our opponents oppose the ban on assault weapons and the waiting period for handguns. You cannot be tough on crime if you're soft on criminals getting guns. But that is exactly the position of Dole, Kemp, and Gingrich. Our opponents tried to cut funding and enforcement to clean up our environment. You cannot put the big polluters in charge of our air and water, but that is exactly the position of Dole, Kemp, and Gingrich. Our opponents have called for a constitutional amendment to outlaw a woman's right to choose, even in cases of rape and incest. You cannot close the gender gap while raising walls against the most basic of women's rights. But that is exactly the position of Dole, Kemp, and Gingrich.